Hey everyone, I'm James, this is Isabel, and welcome to part 2 of Collinsberry Art's The Art of Business. So, since we started a business, we found a few key things. The first off being we really had to learn how to think like an entrepreneur and a business owner. And the three key things that we took away, I think, were mindset, meditation, and management. So now when you run a business, you're obviously going to be taking a lot of risks, and that's something you just have to be comfortable with. You can't be constantly thinking, oh, what if this doesn't work out? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it'll become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You'll start preparing for the inevitable, and that's all you'll be thinking about. So you'll never be thinking of how to improve or make it a success.
When you run a business, you're going to be taking a lot of risks. I think that's kind of a given when you're starting a business. It's a risk-taking adventure.
Even when you're scaling a business, really.
Yeah, that too.
You can't be in a negative mindset.
Yeah, you can't be in a negative mindset about it. You can't always be fearing for the worst case scenario, or thinking like, oh well, what if this risk doesn't work out? How can I prevent that from happening? Oh my god,
Yeah.
And just freaking out like that. But the problem with that sort of thinking is that it becomes a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you think about of all the possibilities of how you're going to fail, the more likely that you are going to fail. So
yeah. If you focus on failure instead of success, you're going to get failure instead of success.
So you have to be okay with being uncomfortable and be okay with taking risks and all that. So in the course that we're taking, it suggested we do things like waking up early, taking cold showers, and just in general be used or be comfortable being uncomfortable. But honestly, I don't want to take cold showers. I don't take cold showers.
You get really crabby after a cold shower.
Do. Only if I'm like overheating on a really hot summer day.
Yeah.
I'll take a nice cold shower because then it feels good. But
it's still comfortable. How do you get in that how do you personally get into that being comfortable, being uncomfortable mindset then?
I suppose I look at it objectively and I don't really let it get to me all that much. For example, we had to invest a sizable amount of money in order to get into this course that we're into. Now, someone might say, well, what if you can't afford those monthly payments? Is the investment really worth it? But in my head, I'm kind of more going like, well, this investment is going to open up a lot more doors that previously weren't open to us. We have the chance to work with a lot of successful entrepreneurs one-on-one, like multiple times a week. And, I keep focusing on like the positives that this risk is going to give us. And then I'll start thinking, in the chance that we can't afford it, what can we do to afford it? We have savings that we can dive into. I am able to get maybe another part-time job. Worst case scenario, if everything else fails, we do have parents that will support us and help us from crashing and burning into the ground. So
both of our families are very supportive of this endeavor for us, and that helps out a lot.
Yes, parents are awesome.
For me personally, a risk to me is not necessarily a risk per se. Now, I mean, obviously there are risks where it's like gambling, for example. To me, that is a true risk, where you're putting it on the line out of your control. Like, that is a complete risk to me. Whereas for us, for everything we're doing in the business, while it is a risk in the notion where it may or may not work out, we are very much in control over whether it does or does not work out.
Yes.
And for me, it's really about a feedback loop. So, I mean, everything we do and touch in the business causes a result, and that result is feedback. Based on that feedback, the next action we make is much more educated because we've already figured out something. Whether it's positive or negative, we figured out something.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, when you receive that negative feedback, you can't let it get to yourself. So you just kind of have to like look at it like, okay, this is what went wrong. Why and how can we change it? It's not that much of a reflection on you as a person.
Yeah.
which is another thing that I sometimes struggle with, but I think I'm doing pretty alright with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think you've been having some struggles with that.
Yeah, it is difficult. It's really hard to get around, to get that through your head. But yeah, so I mean, my thought process whenever it comes to a risk is really simple. It's like, what am I risking? Whenever we started the business, it was money. So what am I risking? In the absolute worst case scenario, can I make up for what I risked? Yes, we can. We have other forms of income. My last question for myself, whenever I'm considering a risk, is can I control the outcome of the risk? Does what I do affect what happens?
Can you increase the odds in your favor?
Can I increase the odds in my favor? Exactly. So I mean, yeah, like even for this business risk already, I mean, for me, I just look at everything we've become and I already think the risk is paid off. I mean, we've become web designers, we've become graphic artists, we've become coders, we've done some coding already, yeah. Video editing, marketing, product research specialist. Like even if it comes down to it, we've already developed so many skills just to get it started and off the ground.
And those are skills that we're gonna probably carry on for like the rest of our lives. So.
Yeah, I mean, skills and education you take with you always.
Education is great. Stay in school, kids. Except the education system sucks.
We're editing. My dad's a teacher.
Another thing that was suggested to us was meditation. This one is a little bit more kind of like, I guess, hazy with us.
Yeah.
Because
it really is.
You're not a big fan of the idea of meditation.
Not for me.
I think I want to get into it more. I should really start getting into meditation more. I'm personally not a fan of like the, sit there for an hour and pay attention to your breathing. There's yoga that I really enjoy, which I think is a good form of meditation and exercise. And then guided meditation. I think that's really up my alley. And it helps me sleep better. It really does. It really, I think that's, the guided meditation right before bed is way more potent than the melatonin pills that we have. But in terms of, the mentality, I've heard people say that it helps them with anxiety, or at least being more aware of, their anxiety tendencies.
For me, it's really that I don't have the patience to really meditate effectively. That's a lot of it, yeah.
That's a good reason to start meditating.
Well, I mean, the point of meditation is to relax you, settle your mind, that sort of thing. But for me, if I just sit there and think, everything comes to mind all at once, that just stresses me out.
You're not supposed to think. You're supposed to just kind of the way that they describe it is if a thought comes your way, you kind of inspect it and then just let it go. You don't just sit there and think about it. You're supposed to try your best to not think. And just,
Alright, I'm sorry, that sounds incredibly counterintuitive and is just one more reason for me to say no.
What?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds incredibly counterintuitive to me. Because the way it's been explained most often to me was it's a way to organize your thoughts.
I've never heard that.
Really? I've heard it so many times.
No.
It does not organize my thoughts.
But have you ever done a guided meditation?
I don't see. That sounds creepy to me. It does. To sit there quietly in the dark with a guy whispering in your ears. That sounds creepy to me.
No, that's not what it is. Give it an honest try with me sometime.
Nah. Are you guilt tripping me on camera?
I am.
Are you honestly guilt tripping me?
Yes.
On camera?
Yes. Meditate with me. I'll whisper in your ear if that makes you feel better.
I need my safety kitty. A pillow. Where'd you go?
Uh-oh.
This is my safety kitty.
Othello likes meditating with me.
Othello is just like sleeping.
Cheeks.
No human.
Oh, were you sleeping? Did he disturb you? Do you see a fish now? It looks like you see a fish.
I'm fisherman.
So lastly, it's all about getting organized or managing your time because, you know, 3 M's. I thought I sounded clever. Did I sound clever? You know? So one thing that I like to use every day is something that they call PTT. I just call it a to-do list the night before. Honestly.
PTT stands for Plan Tomorrow Today.
I mean, I've done to-do lists before, but I've never done it the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually like to do this a lot because that's just me. I like checking off boxes because, you know, I'm weird. I don't know. I just really like it because, you know, when you are, you know, getting ready to go to bed, you're still kind of like, I did work today. You know, you're okay doing, you know, just a little more work before you go to bed. I mean, because you've been running around for a while and you know what needs to get done from all your running around shenanigans. Whereas if you do it that morning, I'm not a morning person, so...
No, you're not.
Nope, I like my sleep. I don't know. Having a to-do list is great. I don't think I have much more to say about that than the
You
to-do
sound
list.
mildly irritated right now.
I am mildly irritated, you know? Yeah, to-do lists. I recommend them. Seal of approval. Alright, we're good.
Alright guys, that's it for the second video of Collinsburg Arts, the Art of Business. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button if you want to see more of us and of Othello. Subscribe.
Ooh, and also... Boom! Get yourself one of these.
To get your own set, link will be in the description.
All the lovely colors.
This is also a well-used set.
Bye.
Bye!